You and a stranger are standing in the same aisle, looking at the same product. You both check the price on your phones. You assume you're seeing the same number. Why wouldn't you? Same item, same store, same second. But you might not be. Because a price used to be a fact, printed once, true for everyone who walked past. Now, in more and more places, it's an output, something a system calculates, moments before you see it. So when a price surprises you, you're going to need 4 questions instead of 1. Did the market move? Was this a random test? Was it an offer built for a group you belong to? Or did something the system knew about you shape that number? They look identical from where you're standing. But by the end of this video, you'll know the 4 systems that can sit behind a price and which one should actually get your attention. That's what the Elias principle does. Takes something you touch every day and shows you the system running underneath it. If that's how you like to see the world, subscribe. You already know prices move. You've watched a flight get more expensive while you were still deciding. You've seen a rideshare fare jump because it started raining. Hotel rooms, concert tickets, last-minute seats. You've made peace with it. That's dynamic pricing. And look at what it's actually reacting to. Demand, supply, the clock, the market, not you. Just the situation everybody in that moment is sharing. That's the first layer, and it's the one people complain about most. It's also the least interesting one here, because a price that moves for everyone is still a shared fact. It's just a shared fact that changes. The strange part starts somewhere else. It starts when 2 people, in the same moment, don't get the same number at all. In 2000, Amazon ran a 5-day test on 68 DVDs. Some customers saw a 20% discount. Others, on the exact same disc, saw up to 40%. Buyers compared notes online and noticed. Amazon explained what had happened. The discount each customer received had been assigned at random, not based on who they were. About 6,900 people were refunded, an average of $3.10 each. Sit with that for a second. 2 customers, same product, same week, different price, and no profile, no history, nothing personal. Essentially a coin flip before either of them ever loaded the page. This is the distinction almost everyone skips. A different price proves that variation happened. It does not prove the system knows who you are. Those are 2 separate claims, and only one of them proves the system knows something about you. Hold on to that. You're going to need it in about 4 minutes. There's a 3rd layer, and it's hiding in plain sight because you've been trained to enjoy it. The coupon in your app that your neighbor didn't get. The discount for new customers only. The promo that shows up because you haven't ordered in 3 months. The price that's different in one city than another. None of that is a coin flip. It's segmentation. And yes, something about you can decide which group you land in. You're new, you're in this city, you haven't bought anything in a while. But the offer itself was built for the group, not calculated for you. Everyone in that bucket gets the same deal you got. We've called that marketing for 50 years. Nobody found it sinister because the logic was legible. You knew why you got the new customer deal. You were new. So far, prices move with the market. Prices vary in tests. Offers vary by group. 3 explanations, and not one of them is a number built for one person. Now watch what happens when the groups get smaller. To follow what comes next, you have to see what a price actually is now, underneath the number. It used to be a decision. A person chose a figure, and it got printed. Today, across a lot of retail, a price is an output. Inputs go in, inventory levels, competitor prices, time of day, how a test group is behaving, and a system produces a result. That result becomes the number you read. You can watch that transition physically. Digital shelf labels, the small electronic tags replacing paper price tags in some stores. Let a retailer push a change in minutes instead of days. Walmart has described exactly that shift. Though Walmart also says approved changes are generally pushed outside shopping hours, so the prices stay stable while you're actually in the store. And be precise about what that tag is and isn't. It does not mean the shelf recognizes you and rewrites itself as you walk toward it. It means the price is no longer ink, it's software, faster to update and easier to manage at scale. Which raises an obvious question. What happens when pricing experiments run on something as ordinary as groceries? In December 2025, Groundwork Collaborative, Consumer Reports, and More Perfect Union published an investigation into Instacart. They recruited hundreds of real shoppers and had them check the same items in the same stores at the same time. 74% of the items they tracked showed more than one price. Different shoppers were being shown different prices. In some cases, the same item, same store, same moment, came back with as many as 5 of them. The gap between the lowest and the highest reached 23%. And identical baskets, same products, same quantities, landed about 7% apart on average. Read that back slowly. Same cart, same store, same minute, different total. And from the perspective of a single shopper, that difference is extremely hard to detect. In a physical store, you can glance at the shelf, glance at the person beside you, and compare. In an app, there's nothing to compare against. Your screen is the only screen you can see. If you've ever had a vague feeling that online prices aren't quite as solid as they look, that feeling now has a number attached to it. And here's where almost everyone jumps to the wrong conclusion. Different prices, different people. So it must be about who those people are, age, income, how much they've already spent. The researchers tested that directly. They checked whether age, race, gender, income, or previous Instacart use lined up with the price differences they'd found. They did not find statistically meaningful relationships, and Instacart said its item price test cohorts were randomized. People sorted into groups, not prices built from personal data. So the honest version of this story isn't they figured out how to charge you personally. It's quieter than that, and stranger. The variation was real, measurable, and large. The explanation on offer was randomization, the same logic as Amazon's DVD test 25 years later, running on eggs and detergent instead of movies. Then, on December 22nd, 2025, Instacart announced it was ending item price testing altogether. The company's position now: same item, same store, same time, same price. That's Instacart describing its own policy, not an outside audit confirming it. But it tells you something on its own, that this became worth publicly walking back, which leaves the question we started with sharper than before. If that case wasn't personal, where does personal actually begin? In January 2025, the Federal Trade Commission published early findings from a study of the technology companies that sit between retailers and their pricing decisions. According to the FTC, systems like these can draw on things like a shopper's precise location, browsing patterns, shopping history, and what's been left sitting in an abandoned cart, and use those signals to shape which prices, promotions, or products a particular consumer is shown. The FTC was careful here, and so are we. Its public examples were hypothetical and aggregated, written to illustrate the capability without exposing any single company's confidential information. So nobody is handing you a brand name and telling you they did this to you. That would be turning a hypothetical into an accusation, and that's the exact mistake this video exists to avoid. But the capability itself is documented, in plain language, by a federal regulator, and that's the real threshold. Not that a price moved, not even that two people saw different numbers. It's that the input stopped being only about supply and demand, and became able to include you. For your entire life as a shopper, the sequence was simple. See the price, judge whether it's fair, decide. And that sequence rested on one assumption you never had to examine: that the number in front of you was the same number in front of everyone else. A shared fact, not a personal result. The new version is much harder to feel. Signals go in. A price or an offer comes out, and you're left judging a number without knowing what produced it. And if everyone can potentially get a different number, you don't just lose consistency, you lose the reference point, the thing that told you whether your own price was any good in the first place. To be fair about where we actually are, this is not happening on every purchase, everywhere, all the time. Most prices you see are still just prices. Retailers have real reasons to keep them that way, because a price nobody trusts is a price nobody pays. But the possibility stopped being theoretical, and the machinery already exists. That's what changes how you have to look at a number. Not the certainty that something happened to you today, but knowing the door is open. That open door is why regulators started asking about the room behind it. In April 2026, the FTC put a question to the public. Should food and grocery delivery platforms have to clearly disclose when their prices differ from the prices in the store, and when the price shown to one customer differs from the price shown to another customer on the same platform? That's a question, not a ruling. Nothing has been declared illegal. But notice what the question assumes. Individualized pricing is now concrete enough to be written into a federal inquiry. Which means the thing you've been quietly wondering about in the aisle is the same thing regulators are now wondering about on the record. So go back to that aisle. You, a stranger, the same product, both phones out. You know what to ask now. Did the market move? Demand? Timing? What's left in stock? Was this a test, splitting people at random, the way Amazon did it in 2000? Was it a segment, an offer built for a group, not for a person? Or did something the system knew about the transaction or about you actually shape what appeared on your screen? 4 questions, 1 number. That's the difference between reacting to a price and reading one. If that's the kind of lens you want to keep building, subscribe to the Elias principle before the next system hides in plain sight. Because here's where this leaves you. You think you're reading the price, but before you see the number, the system may already be reading the situation. And sometimes you. The unsettling part was never that prices move. Prices have always moved. It's that the number can stay looking exactly as simple as it always did, while the decision behind it becomes something you can no longer see.